Welcome to the Private Practice with Soul podcast. My name is Dr. Brooklyn Storm and I help private practice owners align their business back with their soul's calling, with their big vision and with their soul's purpose. Unlike other private practice coaches, I've traveled the world in search of spiritual resources, spiritual tools, education and information so that you can have the transformation that your soul desires and needs so that you can up-level your business. How much fun is this? I love it so much. Guys, if you're not already a member of the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship Group, please check out the show notes. I would love for you to be there. In the meantime, thank you so much for pushing play today. Let's begin. Hello everybody, good morning and welcome to another episode of the Private Practice with Soul podcast. If we haven't met yet, g'day, my name is Dr. Brooklyn Storm and I'm your host. Thank you so much for pushing play on another episode and welcome to all the new subscribers. I am so pleased that you're here. Guys, if you haven't had a chance to go and check it out yet, I've put a link in the show notes for you to my platform on MemberVault. So hit pause, scroll down to the show notes, tap the link and go and have a look in there. There's a whole lot of free stuff, low cost stuff, right through to high ticket stuff to support you with your private practice. And this morning, I've had people purchasing a starter kit for private practice, which is just getting some amazing feedback and also getting some really fun feedback about the free private practice video series. So all of that is in there for you. Go ahead, binge on it, and then come back to the podcast. Okay, so today I want to talk with you about alignment and what that really means and give you an example of alignment in my private practice. So something sort of happened this year, and I guess it sort of happened very recently as well yesterday. And I thought maybe this might be a good opportunity for a teaching moment. Hopefully it will be a good teaching moment for you to show you what alignment looks like in your private practice and how to navigate things when things seem to go off kilter a little bit. So for me, alignment is one of my North Star values. It really directs my life. It directs my private practice when I am thinking, feeling, behaving, all those sorts of things in a way that embodies my values, my beliefs and my purpose and all that sort of sweet stuff. I know that that's when I'm at my most happy, I'm at my most powerful, I feel empowered, I get the best results, and I'm just so happy when I'm in that place. And that's where I strive to be in life and in business. But from time to time, as you know, and you probably experience this yourself too, life and business throw us curveballs. And those curveballs can make us feel really uncomfortable. And that's what I want to talk with you about today in case something like this has happened to you and you need to process it. Hopefully this is going to help. Or if perhaps something happens in future, you will have heard this and maybe it will help you in the future, or you can come back to it down the track. So I think the important thing is when you're not in alignment with your values and when you're not operating the practice in alignment with your beliefs and with your intentions, what can happen then is things start to go a little bit pear-shaped, and you see that in how you start to show up in your practice, and you create, or your energy rather creates a ripple effect through the practice, and that can be really detrimental. If you're not in a good place, that's going to affect all sorts of things. It's going to affect how visible you are. It may affect your confidence. It may affect how you show up in a therapy session. It may affect how you write your emails, collect debt, all of that sort of stuff. And that's why it's so important that you feel okay with how you're showing up, what you're thinking, what you're feeling, how you're behaving, okay? So here's the story, all right? So at the start of this year, I set the intention to build out my friendship group, right? I really wanted to connect with other women that were like-minded, and I really wanted to create this sort of bundle of beautiful souls, beautiful women that we could all support each other and lean on and catch up with and, go on holidays with and do all those sorts of fun things. And anyway, a lady and I, we'd cross paths and, we kind of hit it off right at the beginning, or so I thought. And I really liked her. And we were in similar industries, sort of complementary industries. Anyway, so we developed this sort of acquaintanceship, if you like. And I was really excited about getting to know her and getting to, I guess, invite her into my inner circle when I got to know her a little bit better. Anyway, what happened was that a few months ago now, she contacted me and, we had this, as I said, it was an acquaintanceship, so we're always friendly. I was always, offering to support her, things like that. She contacted me a few months ago and she said she had this fantastic opportunity for her business. I was really happy for her. She invited me to be a partner in this project, this opportunity that she had. And I was so grateful and I was so thankful and I felt so lucky. And I was super excited because, I was just excited. And so I couldn't do enough to help her. She didn't know anything about the particular industry that she'd been offered this contract in. So, over the course of a few phone calls, I gave her a crash course in what this industry was. She wasn't sure how to negotiate a contract for this industry. So I coached her around that, just as an acquaintance, not as a client or anything, just because we were in this together. She didn't have any contracts for subcontracting staff who were going to deliver the service. So I gave her my contract. My contract was really expensive, but I gave it to her. Things like that. She didn't have any practice management software. I said, that's fine, use this, gave her tools and instructions around that. I even spent time working with some of the contractors in a group sort of setting, teaching them how to set up the practice management software for those who weren't familiar with it, and then did a few sort of little one-to-one trainings in that on the side. All good. And then what happened was when she was ready to launch, she just kind of told everyone that was hers and there was no mention of me. And I thought, we're meant to be partners here. And so I asked her about it and she said, no, we're not partners. And I thought, okay. And then she said, and I said, well, hang on, I've helped you out. I've given you all of this stuff. Like I've coached you through it. I've given you my tools. I've given you my resources. I've coached you, men and women who are going to be delivering the service. I've done all of this stuff. What do you mean we're not partners? And she said, oh, well, what did you think I meant when I said partners? And I said, well, partners means partners. I thought we'll go in halves in this and it was 50-50 and that we'd both be doing this together, but looks like you're now doing it yourself. And she said, well, when I say partners, Brooklyn, I mean that you just give me all of your stuff and, then I go and use it. That's what partners is. In my industry, that's what women do. They just give each other their stuff. And I said, well, no, that's not okay. Like I've given you thousands of dollars worth of stuff. And then she was like, well, do you want me to pay you for this? And I said, no, you're missing the point. You said that we were doing this together. Anyway, so needless to say, it really left a bad taste in my mouth and it took me time to process what had come up for me. There's clearly something inside me that had felt very triggered. I was hurt in some ways because, as I said, I was hoping that this person and I were actually on the pathway to making, a friendship. And so I was kind of grieving, I guess, the loss of what could have been as far as that went. And I was also feeling triggered in terms of, I guess, deeper stuff. And this came out through journaling. And what I realized was that I'd been triggered because her behavior was out of alignment with my values. And anyway, then I decided that I didn't really want to spend too much more time with this person because it just felt out of integrity with myself. Anyway, so I kind of took a big step back from that relationship. I was moderating one of the moderators. There's a bunch of beautiful women who all moderate that group. They're amazing. And I was also one of those moderators for that group. So I just took a step back because I didn't want to bring any bad energy. And I was very aware that I still needed to work on myself first. Took that step back. did the work on myself, rebuilt, came back to a state of feeling whole and good and all of that sort of stuff, and had resolved in my mind that this woman and I were just going to maintain some kind of professional relationship moving forward. And then what happened was a few weeks ago, so kind, really beautiful thing. She sent me a little card in the mail, and she sent me, a little gift with that. And it was just really thoughtful. And I guess as a result of receiving that, I then reflected on, where I was at with the relationship. And I thought, okay, maybe I can start to, open up a little bit. And so that's what I did. I felt like I wanted to open up. And by opening up, I mean drop my guard down a little bit. And anyway, so then we started communicating a little bit more. And then what happened was this week, we were talking about her group and stuff like that. And then I, mentioned to her that, yes, I had an idea that of what she could do to monetize her group. And she was really excited about this. And anyway, so we spoke about what that could look like, all good. We're both happy, etc., etc. And then yesterday we were on a little bit of a group chat, and she's saying in the group chat that she's now got a coach, and that this coach is suggesting that she rebrand things, and as part of that rebrand, she wants, she's had this idea or something, words to that effect of, no, it's her intention now to start monetizing the group. She wants to charge for certain types of things. And I was really surprised by that, because she hadn't actually thought about that since I raised it with her earlier in the week. And I know this because she said to me she hadn't thought about it. Anyway, so it kind of upset me a little bit, because again, looking back, I can see it was my ego that got in the way. And I was like, no, hang on, I suggested that. I raised that with you. And so then anyway, I just said, well, you know what? I'm really pleased that you've taken that advice on board, and I think that's a great idea, and I still think you should stick with X, Y, and Z, and I'm excited to see how things unfold for you. And I just kind of left it at that, and I was happy to leave it at that. And then she's come back with something like, if she'd been thinking about it for quite some time or something similar, right? And I just thought, but I know that you haven't, because you told me that you hadn't. And then, so I guess that was perhaps the big flag for me, an internal notification that things were completely now out of integrity with me, which was why I was being triggered. There's this idea, Abraham Hicks talks about it with their work. Esther, interprets for Abraham, and has said in a lot of the books that she's written, and also books she's written with Jerry, that and some of the work by Bashir has also said that, we have this, and Gabby Bernstein also says that we have this like inner guidance system. I think that's the term that Gabby uses. It's IGS, inner guidance system, or ING. And it kind of posits that whenever you feel that twinge that something's off or something's not right, it's because your little North Star on your little internal compass is out of alignment. It's no longer pointing north, right? And so this is your feeling, your intuition, your energy telling you to realign. You need to get that needle back to north. And so for me, getting that needle back to north meant distancing myself from this person. And so that's what I've done. So I've distanced myself from them. It's all fine. But I just wanted to share with you what's happened, because as you can see, what's going to happen, or what's happened here for me is, it was a big lesson for me in terms of, I guess, understanding ego, understanding mindset, understanding my triggers, understanding my core values. But at the bottom of all of that, when you peel back all of those layers, the big lesson was, hey, Brooklyn, you need to get yourself back into alignment here, back into a place where you are operating from a place of self-integrity. And for me, when I'm operating in a place of self-integrity, when I'm operating in that deep alignment with my core values and with my core essence, I feel good. I don't feel toxic. I don't feel all of those unwanted things. I don't feel that they don't even come into my space. And so this was a beautiful lesson that you're always on a journey in your private practice, and you always get to be the captain of your own ship. You always get to steer that ship in the direction that you want it to go. And when you start coming into a repeated pattern with somebody, I don't think that that's anything bad about that person. I don't think that that's anything negative about them. I don't think it's anything to do with them. I think it's about you, or in this case, me. And it's about the lesson that you need to take for yourself, or that I needed to take for myself. And for me, that was about why am I feeling uncomfortable? I can't feel uncomfortable because I'm out of integrity. I'm feeling uncomfortable because this is out of alignment for me. Okay, with this new knowledge, if I'm operating in a place of total alignment with my business, who am I being? And how does this person handle these sorts of situations? And how does this person bring herself back into alignment? And what advice would this person give herself in this situation? And so it's by operating from the end in mind that you're able to, map out that plan for you that gets you back onto your course. You know what I mean? So there's nothing ever bad, that happens in your practice. It's only good or bad. I forget who said this. Maybe it was Shakespeare. I don't know. I'm sure somebody's going to correct me, or William Blake or something. But nothing's good or bad until you think it's so, right? So everything is neutral. And I'm thankful that I had this lesson. I was thankful for being able to recognize it, and I was thankful for being able to, put my little course in, get myself back on course, back on the right track for me, for what's aligned for me, for what's aligned for my business, for what's aligned for my clients, all of those sorts of beautiful, beautiful things. So if you're finding that you're perhaps feeling a bit anxious or nervous, or like something's a little bit off, I would encourage you to have a little bit of a think about alignment and ask yourself, tune in to yourself and just say, hey, is this feeling aligned for me or not? And if it's not, that's okay. It's not good or bad. It's a little indicator to say, hey, you're just veering off course a little bit here, come back onto the path. And I think the other thing that can be really helpful as well is when you change courses or you change direction and get yourself back on track, I think it's really important to close off the energy between that situation and where you are now. And so for me, closing off the energy usually involves gratitude. I'm, abundantly thankful for the lesson. I'm abundantly thankful for the universe serving me this lesson. I'm abundantly grateful that I was able to see the lesson and grow and expand from it, because it makes me a better businesswoman. It makes me a better coach. It makes me better able to guide others who might find themselves one day in a similar situation. And it's just nice to close off that energy loop as well, because then there's no angst, there's no animosity, there's nothing sort of negative about it. It's just love there. And that's what I mean. Like, these situations are going to come along in your practice that maybe test you, or maybe are a little bit trying, or things like that. And that's okay. They're not good or bad. It's how you think of them that will make them good or bad. So always close off that energy with gratitude, and if you can, with either forgiveness or with love, or maybe even both. That's fine as well. So there's some things that you can think about. And if you find yourself in that situation at the moment and you want somebody to talk about, don't hesitate in sending me a little email or sending me, a little message or something like that. Now, if you haven't done it yet as well, do click the link in the show notes and head over to MemberVault, because there's also some free resources there, as well as some small, medium and high ticket offers that can support you in your private practice. I hope that this has been a really powerful episode for you. I think it's going to come in really handy. I would encourage you to download it and maybe save it for a time when you might need to call upon it. Okay. For those of you who are interested in deepening your connection with your private practice, learning some of the more practical things around automations and policies and procedures, but also understanding how to balance that with your feminine energy around being creative and building those beautiful teams and calling in referrals and soul clients. I do have the private practice method. It's a 12-month course and it's only open once a year, obviously, because it's a 12-month course. We start on the 9th of January. And I'll put a link for more information in the show notes for you as well, so you can come along and check it out. If you're already one of my coaching clients or in the private practice membership group, you get all the digital courses and things like that at 50% off. So don't panic if you see the price, guys, you'll be fine. For everybody else, if you want to take advantage of the private practice method course next year, but you can't find a payment plan that suits you, just let me know and we can absolutely work something out. Money is not going to be the objection to you getting the help that you need for your practice, whether you're just beginning or whether you're already well and truly into it and just needing a bit of a fresh approach or a change of pace. I hope that you got a lot out of this episode today. Thank you so much for listening. And I hope that this was a really great teaching moment for you in showing you what it can look like in practical terms in real life to realign your practice with your core values and core essence. Have a beautiful weekend, everybody, and I'll talk to you next time. Bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Private Practice with Soul podcast today. If you're looking for clarity, if you need help with branding, your processes, and bringing everything into alignment with your soul's purpose for your private practice, head to the show notes and click the link for more information about the Private Practice Monthly Mentorship Group. You are going to love it. I can't wait to see you in there. Thanks so much for listening. Bye.